I love it, man. Thanks for having me here. Been really looking forward to it. Right now, at about maybe 3 grand on the phone so far, and I still got another 2 hours of calls after this. So really excited. For anyone that doesn't know, some cool things. We the Mills family got baby number 4 coming next summer. If you didn't know, so the Mills clan's continuing to grow. And over the last couple years, it's really been the hardest accountability to me for driving my business in a way that aligns with that lifestyle. And the beautiful thing is that Vector allows you to really paint that lifestyle for yourself. And I've been grateful for every moment I've had as part of this team. This team has been one of the biggest highlights of my entire career. And I'm just grateful to spend some time with you guys. And I love watching your lifestyles continue to adapt and grow. When I see that every day on your guys' news feed, and my goal is that by this message, I hope give you some bigger picture thoughts with your sale promotion, and they're able to be more effective and efficient with your sale promotions. So if you are still brand new or you're still growing your customer list, I really encourage you to keep working your freaking ass off. Every customer is just, every customer is setting you up for future sales. And I'm going to talk more about that right now. There's no perfect amount of customers. I love that we can have people like Josh Moeller and Seth Kinzer and Curtis J. Hewson, Jason Jeffrey, and all of which are over 10,000, customer base. And that's really schmexy when it comes to these sale promos. But, I'm at a point in my life where, as great as it is, I've got 4,000 maybe active accounts right now, maybe 3,000 if you count up-to-date contact information. Like right now, I'm in a whittled down stage. And I don't want you guys to be scared of, every client or like how big that is. But I do want you to write one thing down, and that's, am I thinking big enough? So I really even challenge our veterans to think this, because, we think about like shipping $1 million per year. And it's like, I don't need 10,000 customers to ship $1 million in a year. I just need my best 1,000 to buy $1,000 of Cutco every year. Like, it's not like, that's really why I segregate and I fire and I really disengage from a lot of clients, because, at some point you're not going to, like, right now, it might seem like you have all the time in the world, but with people who are increasing their lifestyle, to live epically, you could live epically and Cutco forever. But, for most people's 5, 10, 15, 20-year visions, I know what you guys have been working on. And it's probably not going to be, being 90 years old, still, crushing the state fair of Texas. As great as that is, and maybe that is you. And if that's what you want to do, then do it. But if your biggest thing is uh, is being efficient and effective, the sale promotion can really play a really integral role in your business. What's been really exciting is, not like, dude, you guys have like a most amazing show team. So I'm not selling anyone here off of the show team. But I do just want to say, the last 2 years, I've been able to step away from events and leverage my customer base in a way that's I've only operated under my customers for the last 2 years, and doing that while growing the coaching program with Josh, and then this year probably finishing about 80 grand since August on Rob Robinchick's business gift program, which has like blown up in my business more than I thought it would. But just with some numbers here, Josh Muller's going to do over $300,000 over the phone with his past customers, residential customers this year. I'm going to be, last year was my first year over 100 grand over the phone to my existing customers. And this is going to be my first year over 150 grand over the phone to my residential customers. I don't say that to impress you, but to like just impress upon you just what's kind of possible. And I don't even feel like I'm operating at my full vision and my full dream of what that looks like. But what if we did talk about that? Like we talked about, am I thinking big enough? Am I thinking big enough? I had to ask myself this question, and it took me 5 years to get to the place where I realized that I was not giving my sale promotion in December the time and the dedication that it needed. And at this point, pound per pound, second per second, minute by minute, the most effective way for me to drive business, and this is, some people need to get to this point, but just sharing this with you guys that I have, like, in November, I don't do any service events in November. I don't do any service calls in November. I don't do any events in November, because that's how much time, effort, and energy doing the follow-up with my sale promotion takes priority. If I go see a gold client in December for a service call, that's 4 hours out of my workday, assumingly between driving, you know, hanging out with my client, closing. Sure, I might write up a 2, 3, 4K order. That's 4 hours that I'm not on the phone. And right now I'm averaging about 1,500 CPO per hour over the phone. So you need to ask yourself, when you're thinking about, am I thinking big enough? I just want you to think to yourself, like, am I willing to give up what I want now for what I really, really want? Like, does my schedule, does my plan, does my everything align with my big picture vision? And a lot of times I see people who want to sell more during the sale promotion, but they continue to not increase their level of respect or prioritization of the sale promotion. Every year I see reps who will try and fit their sale promotion around things like kiosk events. And I'm not saying don't do kiosk events. They can be very, very productive, very, very profitable. They're very fantastic, especially if you don't have a complete full schedule. What a time to dedicate to it. But why are you there? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? And like, think about this. It's like when you're thinking big enough, just to throw some numbers out here, why I'm even saying all this stuff. Okay. Just imagine your past customer business, right? Imagine if 10%, one person for every 10 clients thought that it was a good idea to add to their collection during the holidays or to buy gifts for others. 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 clients, it's a good idea, and you're able to convert that into a sale. And let's say you're not even that great at selling. Let's just say it's Cutco, it's expensive, you have a $350 average order. Guys, 10% conversion at a $350 average order. Listen to this. That is 17,500 CPO for every 500 clients that are active in your database. So think about that. Guys, that is not like, that's not even great numbers. That's 1 out of 10. Like, in Cutco, we're close to like a 90% closing ratio. Just convert one person out of every 10 to ordering with you around Christmas. That is not a crazy concept. Okay, let's talk a little bit bigger. What if you got 20%, 2 out of every 10 customers? And let's say you've got some sales skills under your belt. Let's say you're a $500 average order closer. I don't even think that that's that amazing, okay? But it's better than most. That's $50,000 in business waiting for you to run a freaking sale promotion and capitalize on when those customers are wanting to add Cutco to their collection for every for every 500 clients you have. That's a 20% conversion at $500 average order. Imagine that, $50,000 from running a sale promotion. And that's just one sale promotion. Josh and I run 3 sale promotions a year. You can see how Josh has worked up to over a $300,000 business, and I don't even think that he's come close to what his potential is. So that means that someone could have a $100,000 sale promotion between November and December if they have 1,000 clients, if they had a 20% conversion and a $500 average order. And that is something that I believe that everyone on this call has the ability to do right now. So have you thought about that? Did you even know what was possible? If you're trying to work a kiosk and fit a sale promotion around it, that's like saying, hey, I'm going to go work this kiosk and also fit in 4 in-home service calls as well. Hey, I'm going to go to this kiosk and I'm going to be a part of this live all day conference. You're like, okay, well, teach me how to buy locate because I don't know how to do that. I would love to do that. Like pound for pound, we're seeing that people are having a higher average order, higher average closing percentage, higher average order per hour. It's really amazing. So, are you thinking big enough? When you're thinking about big enough, do you have clarity with what your customer experience is going to look like? If you don't know what your customer experience process and framework looks like, how are your customers ever going to know what their customer experience should look like? What if you had a big picture when with each customer, right? And your big picture was, yes, my customers on average finish their Cutco kitchen and move on to becoming serial Cutco gifters within 5 years or less. Like, what if that was the vision? Would you have people completing their Cutco kitchen sooner, more frequently, more often? How often do you want your customers to know that it's okay to order from you? For a long time in my business and what I look around in Cutco and see all the time is that customers order every like 3, 5, 7 years when they're desperate for sharpening or when, something happens, like whatever, they get reintegrated with Cutco. But guys, when you have an 85, 90% closing percentage, guess what? That means that people order when they talk to you. Like, what if you put it into place and gave your customers permission to order from you multiple times a year? Like, why are they not? Guys, our 5 pay, that's 5 months. They should be finishing their 5 pay and on to the next 5 pay. Like, if they can't afford the whole Cutco kitchen, don't worry, Miss Jones. We could just do it over our 20 pay. Like, whatever. Like, just bridge that baby out. Like, it doesn't matter. But are you giving your customers permission to be ordering more frequently with you? How many times per year do you want your customers ordering from you? How often, how easy are you making it for your customers to order from you? So think bigger. Like, so ask yourself, what is your customer experience? For me, it's my customers are completing their specific Cutco kitchen and becoming serial Cutco gifters within 5 years or less. I also have each of my customers labeled, everything from inactive because they died or they don't want Cutco or whatever, to disqualified because they've actively communicated that they do not plan on ever buying more Cutco, to a new customer, preferred, gold, and platinum. And if they're not dead or if they don't suck, my goal is to get them to the next layer. And guess what? Each layer that they go, they get a higher level of marketing. So my platinum level, I have a $50 budget every year at this point. I'd like to grow that more. They get a $50 Cutco gift. So it's 50 out of a third. So they're really getting 150. It's personalized and it's really exciting. Gold, they get $20. So at a third, they get about $60 personalized Cutco engraved gift with a handwritten letter. If they're preferred, they're getting a handwritten letter. If they're new, well, my goal is to get them to preferred. So if you guys want to know what that labeling looks like, I'd be happy to share that with you. Seth and Kelly Kinzer, along with some other CSPs and Josh Mueller and Amy, helped us design kind of how we label our customers. But I bring these conversations to today because when you have a bigger, clear picture of what your customer experience looks like, it affects your level of commitment to the what's next conversation with every customer. It keeps your foot on the gas pedal when it comes to upserving every single time. When it comes to program awareness with your customers, it holds you accountable to these things. And without a good long picture, like a good picture mindset, it's easy to give up and become the order taker versus the order maker. So a lot of people that are going to listen to this, or maybe even here right now, you guys are effing freaking good at your job. You sell a shit ton of Cutco. You are so good at it. You are so good at customer service. You're so good at handling objections. You're so good at being relatable and connecting. You're so good at your craft. You're really freaking good at your job. But how good are you at running your business? People that focus on being really good at their job can go from event to event and sell a lot of Cutco. And I think that there's a lot of power in this team's ability per day, per shift, per event. It doesn't matter. You guys are good. You're going to sell Cutco wherever you're at. Your average order is higher. Your closing percentage is higher. That means you're really good at your job. How good are you at your business? So think about that. You know, someone that's really good at their job is going to look at how much they sold today. Hey, I sold $4,000 in 10 orders today. Okay, cool. Whatever. Not super amazing averages, but no one's going to be angry at that. So someone that's really good at their job is going to look at that and they're going to go, okay, well, here's my closing percentage, here's my average order, here's whatever. If you're good at your job, you're going to look at how much you sold and how many orders. If you're good at your business, you look at that and you go, hey, I just acquired 10 new clients and I just sold 40 plus grand in the next 4 years because I took those 10 new clients on today. This is the difference between really good at your job and being really good at your business. So enough with the big picture stuff, but I really want you guys to start analyzing how good are you at this, like right at thinking bigger. What is your customer experience look like? And are you sharing that with every customer every time? And when you do that, you're going to see a much bigger growth in your sale promotions because every time you're talking to someone, you've already talked about what's next the last time you talked to them. It's easier to have that conversation. Oh, you're calling me for Sharissa is out from San Diego. She's cross-trained me today. She's like, I want to learn about Upserve. I'm like, let's go. This guy ordered from me last November. We built up the what's next conversation for his upgrade. He just ordered his upgrade in August from the pre-price increase sale. This is someone that lives 2 hours from me that bought from me at a show 4 years ago, 2 hours away from me. I haven't even seen him in this long. Okay. He bought from me an event or in August at the pre-price increase sale. I knew he bought for one kid. I asked for his other kid's information, wrote that down, seed planted the family program. He just got my sale this morning, called me back. I was like, tell me about the family program. And we just did a galley set +6 for his daughter. And this is all because of this big picture thinking. And it's not like amazing, but it's a really good example. And then just keyed up the conversation. Hey, I see that the last time that we talked that we got steak knives and you're giving your old block to your son, Bruce. We said that we want to do the 5-piece starter set for him, which would fit in that block, by the way. Since you're already at this family program, double dipping in there would actually get you some extra added like savings. Just for fun, can I tell you what it'd be for that package we were talking about, Bruce? He's like, yeah. And it's like, cool. It'd normally be this. Today it's this. He's like, oh, yeah, let's do that too. Boom. It was like a 350 CPO order on a showstopper just fine because I was capitalizing those what next conversations. So are you committed to the every package, every program, every time? Are you committed to the what's next conversations? Are you committed to promoting and building out the Cutco vision for your customers? Are you committed to adding value and communication to your clients so that they're getting so much more out of their Cutco kitchen because of you? Right? Are you like Brian Carter and minimizing their issues, solving their problems? Are you like Josh Mueller, who's sending out like tips and recipes and Amy showing them how to do the stuff, right? Are you like Jason Jeffries showing how to like cut crazy watermelons and stuff? Like, what are you doing to do these things? And this is all good, kind of goes into what culminates and is going to grow your sale promotions. So for me, my goal is to have an $80,000 sale promotion and between November and December with just my past customers over the phone. And that allows me to have weekends off, half days on Friday, and I work 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I outsource through agreements with local reps, a profit share. If they run and do a service call, I've outsourced 30 service calls, even for some of my gold clients, because I'm just not going to go outside of my bandwidth for what's doable for my minimum goals. And my sale launched today, and my pre-price or my pre-sale, just my mailers dropping, promoting the sales coming up. I'm at about 50 grand in the last 2 weeks, just promoting that a sale was coming up and closing those orders. My first email went out today, and my first sale text message is going out on Wednesday. So this is just to kind of give you guys an idea. So I think I might have to raise my goal, but it is all very, very exciting. So as far as some things that you could do outside of mindset, is I want you to think about what goes well this year, this fall, over the next 5 to 6 weeks, and ask yourself what could be better. Because every year you probably thinking to yourself about certain things that go really well, and you're like, hey, next year I should probably do blank. Oh, next year I should start my sale earlier. Next year I should send a gratitude text. Next year I should probably finish out my sale and run the extension. There's whatever. Hey, I should probably try and work these shifts at these events, and maybe I should consider backing off of these other commitments so I can make more time for this other stuff. Whatever it is, do yourself a favor and write that down so that when you're looking at your plan and you're going into next fall, you don't end up making the same mistake twice. So every year, just get a little bit better, a little bit better. And in the next 3 years, your schedule, your lifestyle, everything you want is going to be operating potentially at 3x or more than it is right now. So because my computer was finicky, my notes are a little bit goofy. They're on my computer. I'm zooming from my phone. So I will email Matt and Brian my notes from today, but there's some things that I'm going to give you as far as some verbiage that I hope will help increase your guys' sale promotion results as well. So one thing that I heard recently, Roger posted that, for the last 3 years, I think we've been promoting to our group that's been training with the sale promotional group, the piggyback approach. And if you haven't heard about the piggyback approach, this is essentially just giving your customers permission to keep adding to their order. It sounds something like this: Miss Jones, you're going to love your stuff just like you always do. You're going to love these new additions. By the way, this brings us to, and this is a great line I always like to use, X% of your way to the Cutco kitchen. Hey, this completes your ultimate set. Congratulations, you're now 25% of the way to the Cutco kitchen. How awesome does it feel to know you never have to worry about knives again? Okay, cool. Just so you know, this is going to keep your account open for the next 30 to 60 days. And Cutco tends to be a pretty hot topic, as you got new stuff coming in the mail, you got gifts coming, you got old stuff getting sharpened coming back from the factory, whatever your situation is, right? So I just want to let you know, if something breaks, you need like a personally engraved like pocket knife or knife as a gift, you want to take care of any family program, you just want to throw out the old pots and pans and start over with Cutco, whatever you need, you're pretty much locked in to this order savings for the next 60 days. All you would need to do is just text me. Just giving your customers permission to do this, you will just get orders trickling in more and more. It's amazing how it works. Last year, I had entire cookware sets that were just piggyback. Just, hey, you know what? My husband started cussing out the fry pan. I didn't think this was the year, but we're going to make it work. Just go ahead, and you said we could piggyback it, so let's just go ahead and do it. I was like, let's do it. Let's go. This morning, I got a piggyback for 4 table knives. Yesterday, I got a piggyback for a butcher knife. They're not always going to be the biggest, craziest orders, but I'm going to take 100 CPO here, 400 CPO there, like for saying a 30-second statement, just giving someone permission to keep ordering from you. Roger, I promised you I'd give you a piggyback 2.0. So I'll share the exact script with what the piggyback approach looks like when I send this to Matt and Brian to share with you guys. But Piggyback 2.0 has gotten way more systematized, and it's grown a lot more in traction when we bring in, depending if you run a 30-day or a 60-day, what I found out through experience is it really doesn't matter what you say. But anyway, what we've been doing is a 29th day or 59th day piggyback reminder text. And this is something that you can have an assistant do through texting base. This is something that you could do with pretty little effort. But here's the thing. essentially having a trigger in your schedule or a follow-up from your assistants in place that text your customers. Um, hey Brent, I hope you're enjoying the new Cutco editions and still have all your fingers, haha, whatever, Uh, just a heads up that tomorrow is the last day that you can add Cutco to your last order by piggybacking the blank percent that you locked in from your order recently. Let me know if you want to knock out any gifts or anything else you're going to eventually get for your own Cutco kitchen. Either way, I appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing day. Cool Hand Luke, mycutcorep.com/Luke Mills. So now we have like a last chance for the piggybacking, which, by the way, we've been averaging about 15 to 20% of people adding onto their piggybacks, even with upserves taking place on their orders. So I'll get that script over to you guys. You can turn that into a call approach. You guys can turn that into a text approach. You can turn that into an email trigger campaign. It doesn't matter. If someone does reorder with me, I tell them it restarts their piggyback timeline. So sometimes they just keep rolling in. But essentially, I'm okay if my customers order with me 3 or 4 times a year. I'm totally okay with that. I would much rather them have me consistently top of mind, consistently adding to their collection, consistently taking care of their gifts for them and their family, than doing it only once every couple of years, or only when I'm in front of them, or only when I see them at a show, or only when I'm doing a service call. Couple other cool things here for you guys. When it comes to closing the orders over the phone, one thing that's really important is to stop overthinking it. One of the biggest concerns that I consistently hear year after year, even by Hall of Fame Cutco reps, is I just don't know how I should be selling over the phone. Guys, realize that sales is sales is sales is sales. It doesn't matter if you had a service call. It doesn't matter if you're at a service event in a hotel room. It doesn't matter if you're at a booth. It doesn't matter if you're over the phone. It's the same stinking thing. If you're having trouble with anything, like anything in particular, it is possible that you've become like, maybe just take note of, hey, it's possible that I need to get off of selling. Like if you have a trouble with the upgrade, stop trying to sell pieces and start learning how to sell on the concept of an upgrade, right? I'll give you guys some examples here in a little bit, but one of my favorite closing statements over the phone is this: hey, just so you know, Cutco is really incentivizing people taking action now before the prices go back up. It's just a really good adding urgency, and I really like to just call this out. I say this all the time, by the way, at service events. I say it at service calls. I go, by the way, it's up to you whether you add or not, but Cutco's really incentivizing people who take action now. And it just kind of brings that urgency kind of full frontal on you. When it comes to value building, this is something that's been passed around the Cutco bandwagon for a little while. I think I actually picked this up from one of Matt's notes, probably got it from someone else, but either way, maybe I'll just give my credit to Matt. But when it comes to value building, one of my favorite like sales lines is just, hey, this package is designed to help you save more now and spend less later on the items that we both know that you're eventually going to get at some point anyway. Hey, whether you do just this pieces or whether you do the package, I just want to let you know that this package is designed to help save you more money now and spend less later on the Cutco we both know you're going to eventually get at some point anyway. All right, let's talk about upserving. This is a really big deal. And this actually was one of the biggest things that took me from like maybe a $250 average order to over 400. I'm right now sitting at maybe 460 over my last 3 sales, my last like $110,000 over the phone with customers at about 460 average order. I'd like to get that higher, but we're working on it. But one of the biggest things is the commitment to upserving. So what's really cool about the upserving is that the bigger the vision, or I'll come into the verbiage in just a moment, but to come full circle on where we started, am I thinking big enough? Do I have a customer like experience process like clearly defined? And if you're not confident about your Cutco kitchen, like vision for your customers, if you're not confident about your customers being able to turn Cutco into the most practical gifts that are the like easiest gift resource for them, like if you're not building up these visions, then your customers are going to get lost in as to how they should go about their kitchen, or even worse, they think of you as a transaction versus a relationship. Oh, thank you for my knife set. Never talk to you again. Why are you emailing me? Why are you texting me? Oh, I already bought cookware. Yeah, I got Salad Master. Oh, I didn't know Cutco had pots and pans. Like freaking, you want to stab yourself. So what is your big picture vision and how are you communicating that to your clients? Just so you guys know, this is not a part of Vast Action I'm involved in, but I highly recommend investing in the Cutco quad folds. Every single customer gets this from me. I sent these out instead of catalogs this year. This actually has about 97% of our product line. So it doesn't have the wellness mats in there and a couple other things, but it actually has color coded everything. It's a great inventory list when I work with people on service calls. It's a good bird eye view for what your customers work towards. So if your customers don't know that you have cookware, it's going to be a lot harder to sell them on cookware during an upserve versus if they've been familiar with it because you've talked about it on every single time you've talked to them before. It's kind of hard to close on extra, $1, $2, $3,000 family program set if that's not a problem that they're calling you to solve, right? So just remember that every conversation that you have can build you closer and build your wish list. And then your sale promotions can give you the perfect opportunity to add that layer of urgency to close on the wish list. So let's just say someone's calling you from pieces to packages. There's two really important questions I ask every single time, for the most part. Number one, hey, are we shopping for gifts or are we shopping for you? This is really important to know who the focus of the recipient is. Or you could say, hey, we're shopping for gifts, shopping for you, or a little bit of both. This is a great way to understand what they're trying to accomplish. The next question is, do you know what you're looking for, or would you like some suggestions? This is really important because it does a couple of things. One, it sets you up as the professional, the person that can give suggestions. Number two, this is helping you get to the point of where are you at. You might know who you want to gift, but you might not know what to gift. Oh, you're calling me for a very specific reason. Okay, cool. Whatever it is, connect with them where they're at and serve them. If they're calling you, hey, hey Marissa, I'm calling you. I want these 4 table knives. I want them in black. I want them on this card, and I want them shipped to this address. The answer is yes, freaking sir. Let's go, right? So take the order for what they're calling you for. This is not the time to upserve, okay? You will know that the time to upserve is when? After you get the credit card, baby. That's when the games begin. That's when that's where the $500+ average order comes into play. This is where the upserve happens. This is where it's powerful. So let's just say someone is calling you for items, okay? In your head, and you guys should write this down, and it'd be a good workshop for you. Anytime someone calls you for an order, understanding what the purpose of that order is should give you an insight as to which package or program you should be promoting in your upserve. Okay, so let's just real quick roll through this, right? If someone's calling me for 4-piece table knife set for their son, and it's their first time gifting their son, ding, ding, your automatic mindset should be like, freaking family program, right? Oh, you're adding a butcher knife and a vegetable knife to your own collection. What's the program that we need to be setting off in our head, right? It's like chess. You want to be a couple steps ahead. It's like when you're at the booth, like you might be doing a demo, but you already know based off of the next 5 things you and the customer say, you know exactly what you need to do to keep walking them closer to the sale. Can you get this good with past customers over the phone, right? So of course, that's going to be an upgrade. Can you do this with our business gift program? Can you do this with, hey, if they're buying a set of super shears for their friend for a Christmas gift, what program? Hey, this is our gifting program. We do 15% off at 5 gifts and 20% off at 10 gifts, and we allow you to mix and match. So you have gifts on hand ready to go so you can maximize your savings and remove shipping costs. Miss Jones, it seems like you really like the idea of gifting these super shears, this cheese knife, this whatever, 4-pack of table knives. Would it be safe to say that in the next 1 to 3 years that you could see another gifting occasion that you would also give this as a gift? Cool, right? So just think about, if someone's ordering a griddle, if someone's calling you for steak knives, hey, what do you got for steak knives? If you are not promoting a stainless flatware chest as the package that they need to be open to considering, you are losing out on CPO. So think about the different packages and programs that everyone's going to fit into and realize that you're doing them a favor by helping them walk through this. Guys, people will call me for a 4-pack of table knives and it'll turn into a signature plus steak knives. We're talking 140 CPO to over 2,400 CPO. This happens every year, all the time. And why does it happen? It happens because they call me, we go through this process, and then we share with them how to make their lives easier moving forward, right? Through the packages and programs. And at the end, they're so grateful. They're so thankful. Can you get to that point where people are thanking you for allowing them to spend more money with you? That's what we're talking about. So I'll share again this verbiage with you guys, but essentially, right, whatever they're calling a place to order, great. Right, you get to the point where like, you know what they're ordering, let's take care of it, let's hammer this out now. Great, you're gonna love them. Get the card, confirm the address, the colors, whatever. Now where do we go? Hey, but and this is all you need to do. That program you were thinking about, this is where it comes into play. By the way, are you familiar with the blank program? You don't sell the program, don't pitch the program. It's that simple question. Oh, Brett, you're gonna love those new additions onto your collection today. Did you want to put on this card, this address? Awesome, cool. Okay, sweet. Looks like everything is going through really well right now. By the way, just so I know, Brett, are you familiar with our upgrade program? No. Well, it's our program that's actually the pieces that you're ordering today actually come in, and that program is designed to maximize your value when you're adding items onto your set while removing all the hassles that our customers have over time of trying to do the same thing. Can I take a second and just share with you how that program works so that you can decide what is the best option for you? This is it. And that basically can you pique interest and get permission? And when you're planting the seeds for these programs, don't just sell them on the program, lean into the challenges. Hey, Ms. Jones. Hey, Ms. Jones. Hey, Brett. Are you familiar with our family? Are you familiar with our upgrade program? No, you're not. Okay. Well, do you like the idea of having all your cut code together in one like storage block place, having all your tools in one toolbox? Okay, well then you should at least hear how the upgrade program works so that you can make the best decision for you. Does that sound good? Okay, cool. Right? It's just like, hey, I noticed that you're set, like you're overflowing your block already with these extra pieces. Where are they going to sleep at night? Oh, you don't know? Like, where are you going to store them? Okay. Well, just so you know, our upgrade program actually comes with the storage block, and it actually helps save you the money on the items that you probably eventually add over the next year or two while properly storing your whole collection together. Can I take a second and just share that with you real quick? So you guys can see how you can start plugging and playing these different packages and programs. And by getting that permission, right, selling them on how it does work through good quality questions, but also leading into the challenges if they don't. Hey, Miss Jones, you're really smart for buying these 4 table knives for your daughter. She's gonna love them for the rest of her life. My mom got hers right after she got married with her wedding money, and it's one of the only things that they still have from that wedding, from that time together, besides my dad. And we're lucky that she still had, or that he still has her, right? But some of the challenges moving forward are that you get all these great pieces for your kids, and they get lost in the drawer because they don't have a proper place to store them. Plus, now both you and I are trying to keep track of what we did and didn't get them. So what we did was we developed a family program that comes with a couple of our customer favorite options to solve all these problems. Yes, it's a bigger package, but it's also a bigger savings. And what it allows you to do is either give one legacy gift, or now instead of having to play phone tag with me every year, you have all of your gifts for the next 2, 3, 5 years already taken care of confidently, and you're not paying more in the long run and having to pay like and deal with shipping every single time, right? It's like, how can you be good at planning and implementing each of these different programs and systems? It's like, hey, if you see yourself like, what's that you eventually see yourself getting that? A lot of people like the size that they have, or around there compared to what you have. Would you do something like that, smaller, or would you just kind of do what everyone would love to give their kids? And that's the complete set, right? So find out what they like. Okay, cool. Well, hey, it's up to you what you do, but just so you know, here's what comes with that program. Here's how that program works. Just out of curiosity, over the next 3 to 5 years, do you see yourself adding on to your kids' collection? Okay, cool. Then this would, as your Cutco guy, I just want to let you know, this is going to be the best bang for your buck. This is me going to work for you, Miss Jones. This is why you work with me, is to have access to these programs, right? So I got to let you know, if you can swing it, this becomes a no-brainer. But I just got to ask, is 457 for a couple months something that you could swing in the budget? Or is that going to be pushing the envelope? And this is where you can get, oh, you can't swing it? Awesome. It just makes, like, honestly, if you can swing it, it just makes sense, right? So you guys can get the idea here of how these different programs and packages and things work. Just out of curiosity here, because I want to be respectful for you guys' time. And I know we're at maybe a little bit over the 30-minute mark. Matt, how are we doing on time here, bud?
Dude, you're good. Keep ripping it for as long as you want.
So I think that this is a really good place to actually pause on the content. I'll make sure to send over this verbiage over to you guys that you can share with the team. But if there is any questions, I think that this would be a really good place to insert that.
I have one if somebody else has one ahead of me.
Do it. Who is that?
Sweet.
Anthony. What's up, Coyote?
What up, man? So I do have a question about prioritizing customers. So obviously, when we send out emails and texts, we get a lot of responses. For me, I create a spreadsheet as I post in the group and everything. But I know everybody does a little bit different. When it comes to prioritizing customers, do you prioritize them by what they're interested in? If they're, by their gold client, platinum status, preferred client, and then also how do you prioritize click calls into all of that? And what do you find is the most effective way to reach out to them? I know that's kind of 3 questions in one, but like, how do you prioritize them? Where do you put click calls? And then how do you reach out to them?
So think about this. For every time you talk to a customer, there should be some level of awareness of what that customer's future buying potential is. You know this because you should be coming back to and referring to what percentage they're done with, like, tracking on pace towards their Cutco kitchen, as well as bringing up gifts. I had a lady today, haven't talked to her in 2 years. She was buying a butcher knife for her daughter. She's completed her accessory kit, her accessory package, and her knife set. And she's talking about her kitchen as if she's like pretty much done with Cutco. And I go, hey, I love that you are happy with where you're at with your accessories and knives. Just a reminder, if you like what you're at, you're about halfway to the Cutco kitchen. You're 50% of the way there. We still got two other great packages, like here between our forks and spoons and our pots and pans. Just so I know, in the next 3 to 5 years, what do you see you're simplifying or replacing next? And anyway, I just bring that up because you should have an idea. And by the way, hey, you're done. Like, hey, just so you know, we've been working together for 3 years and you've never given Cutco as a gift. Why not? If you're not asking your customers that have worked with you for over a year why they haven't given Cutco as a gift, just challenge them. Like, hey, like, if you received Cutco as a gift, would you appreciate it? Hell yeah, you would. You'd freaking love it. I'm just curious, what's kept you from utilizing Cutco as a gift? It's like the simplest, easiest, best thing ever. And you don't even have to go shopping. Like, I literally make your life easier in a 10-minute phone call. And we stay in budget and your gift will live on forever, right? But anyway, long story short, having these conversations every single time with your customers helps give you an idea of their future buying potential. This future buying potential is what should be tracked in the CRM. You can create the status. I had to create my own. I'd be happy to share with the team what my standards are of like what my different level allocations are and what marketing is applied with it. I'm not going to prioritize my callbacks necessarily from that just because there's so much callbacks of just generating the quality interest. But by effectively labeling each of your clients, you now know the next benchmark you're trying to get them to, right? How do I know if I'm supposed to get someone to their second order unless I make an actual note for that? Which, by the way, what is your game plan for getting your customer's second order? Like if you can't get them to order their second time, you're sure as hell aren't going to get the fourth order. Like you can't get the fifth order unless you get the second order. So it's like, how do you create like a line as a trajectory between 2 points? Create that second point. What can you do to begin that second point? But anyway, some customers just aren't going to be there. I have customers that are like, I saw you when I was on vacation. I don't want to talk to your ass ever again. Like, all right, we don't have to. Hey, thanks for your order. I appreciate it. If you know anyone that could use my services or any business owners, I'd love to get connected, right? Like hey, we don't ever have to talk again. But if I don't make that note in my CRM, I'm not going to be paying my assistant to make an outbound like contact update call this year. I'm not going to pay for a handwritten card to be sent to them. I'm not going to pay to have a catalog or a mailer be sent out. They're sure as hell not going to get like my gold list, like, gifting campaign, right? So that's what I mean by prioritizing the clients is, do you know who your platinum clients are, your gold clients, your preferred clients? Who are your first time clients? Who are your prospects, right? Who's in your account that's completely dead, whether they're inactive because they actually died or because all their contact information died, right? What can you do to update your contact information? Like think of like, guys, you're so freaking good at your job, but how good are you at your business, right? What systems are you utilizing to optimize your business? So with prioritization, it has a lot more to do, Coyote, with how I track my clients and how I market to my clients than it does with my sale promo follow-up, if that makes sense. The second thing, click calls. Guys, I haven't had time for click calls in 3 years. And guess what? Here's what I've done about it. And this is why, like, I wish we were all working together in that. We're taking a year off of the sale promo group, but this is something cool I'll share with you guys. Number one is in my marketing, when I'm running a sale promotion, I increase my number of value added touches within my sale. So if I've got the sale promo, right? If you guys know the sale promo max framework, you've got the launch, reminder, last chance extension, which by the way, I've had this conversation 100 times with Matt. If you're ever curious if you should run a last chance or extension, the answer is yes. There's a natural amount of marketing momentum that's put into place where 30 to 50% of overall sales are taken in the last chance and the extension. So essentially, you've done all the work and you're just not it's like running a marathon up to like the 6 miles, but you didn't run those last like 0.2. It's like just cross the finish line. Like you did the work, like reap the reward, right? So off of that rant, having added amounts of value added touches within your launch, reminder, last chance extension framework increases your number of touches. So I might run a launch email today, a launch text on Tuesday, but every week, like next week, they're getting my content email. The week after, before Thanksgiving, they're getting an appreciation text. Things that will say nothing about my sale. But remember that I'm extending my sale by sending an email saying, hey, by the way, I'm your preferred client, which means I really appreciate you, and I'm paying extra to send you a catalog or a mailer. Those will be landing in your inbox the next week or two. Like hold on to them, pass it around, get everyone's wish list, build up your wish list, and I'll be reaching out on blank day to follow up and make sure you got it. Right? So, and then I sent a text. Hey, I sent you an email about a catalog I'm sending you. I hope you're having a great day. Make sure to check that out. And then now I got more emails because some people are like, I didn't get your email. So that's how I update a lot of emails, by the way. And then I didn't call everyone. I sent a freaking voice drop, but it sure as hell looked like I followed up with their asses the way that I said I would, right? Hey, I just wanted to call, make sure you got the catalog I sent you. Also, there's some good things we need to talk, like whatever. I just want to make sure we have everything up to date for you. Let me know either way. Make sure you get what you need. So then, like, right, that was 2 weeks ago. My sale promotion starts today by my email. I've got my launch text on Wednesday. But I'm also like going to be sending out an email with, hey, by the way, with Turkey Day coming up, it's probably a good idea to know how to actually carve it up because most people don't know how, right? And that'll just be like an email to the video in your like portal link. It'll say nothing other than just here's how to carve up a freaking turkey, right? You could say something like send out an appreciation text, send that like right. What are the different things you could send? Education, entertainment, appreciation, announcements, service, sales. These are like all different things of communication. So I've noticed by adding value added touches to spread out to strategically implemented between my other marketing that is very sales specific, that just like how you probably generate orders from your monthly content email you send from Vast Action, it generates more communication replies from customers. So sprinkling in more value added communications, which again, do different communications through different channels. So utilize social media, utilize calls, utilize like voice drops, utilize direct calls, utilize email, utilize text. Like, are you utilizing all these things? People are just big kids. It takes me 7 times to ask my kid to take out the trash or clean up their room. Adults are the same freaking way. You gotta tell them the same freaking stupid thing 7 different times for them to hear it once. That's called branding, by the way, or marketing 101. So just be really creative with how you can reach out to your clients while they're being aware that a sale is going on. You'll get more naturally people reaching out to you, converting more of those clicks. Number 2 is as my sale is coming to a close, I will use a voice drop and text and an email specifically to my clicks. In fact, I actually now have the opportunity to increase that because of my leveraged time to everyone that opened my email. So what's really cool now is everyone that even freaking opened my email is now getting a voice drop, email, and text that's called target marketing, right? And all I'm doing is I'm creating a higher level of communication to rise to the surface everyone that has a level of interest, and therefore converting more of my clicks and opens. So that's what I'm doing because I don't have time to call through 300 clicks when I have, the amount of work that on my load just between like the coaching group and sale promo max. So if you guys have questions about that, let me know. The last thing I'll say here is one of the biggest concerns I hear is I don't want to over market my clients. I don't want to, there's this big concern, this doubt, this fear that you're going to turn your customers off by over marketing. One of the best things I ever learned from Josh Moeller back in 2012 when I first started coaching and mentoring with him about past customer marketing was there's no such thing as over marketing when your marketing is value based, right? So at the end of the day, just put yourself in your customer's shoes and just ask yourself, what could my customers benefit from? Guess what? When you go stay at an Airbnb and they left you like snacks and a bottle of wine, a cake in the fridge, and maybe a couple beers in there too, you're probably freaking grateful. You're not frustrated that they like had an extra layer of like a touch there. It's the same thing with your customers. What can you do to add a layer of value that your customers are going to appreciate, right? So helpful things with the holiday meals, tips with the knives, like what education, entertainment, make them laugh, do whatever. The last thing is, how do you reach out? I always operate on what I call the communication shotgun. This means if I'm reaching out to you, there's no excuse to not know that I reached out to you. So if I'm reaching out to someone, I'll double tap on a call. I'll leave a voicemail saying that for some reason it won't let me leave a voicemail the first time and that they should reach out to me. They're also getting a text and an email. So that being said, that happens every time I reach out. There's no reason why they shouldn't know that I was trying to reach out. So I call it the communication shotgun. And I hope that answers a lot of your questions there, Coyote. Is there anything that you have left over from those initial 3 questions?
No, that helps a lot. Thank you.
Cool. Matt's giving me the 4-minute mark. So time for like maybe one more question here.
Anybody got a quick question for Luke?
I do. I got a question. It's Kelly.
What up, Kelly?
Okay, so when you're piggybacking, tell me logistically if somebody like calls and they're like, cool, I want to add a hearty slicer, right? And they're already at like 20% off for their order or 15% off or whatever. So logistically, are you just calling Cutco and adding it to their current order and kind of changing what you're bonusing? Are you placing a separate second order and just charging yourself? I know sometimes depending on the percentage that can get tricky. Are you keeping track of their credit card numbers? Like, how do you do all that?
Yeah. I mean, it's you kind of play around with it. Ultimately, it's the answer is yes to all of those. I personally do keep track of my customers' credit cards. It's easier for them. It's easier for me. I do that in the notes section in the CRM since it's encrypted. And essentially, let's just say on the logistics side that they are calling you to place a hearty slicer order. A couple of things here. Number one, if a customer adds on to their order and they still have a balance left, let's just say in a 2-pay, 3-pay, 5-pay, then through Cutco, that account is still open. And what can happen is you can still alter and adjust that order through Cutco on the back end. So in some cases, it's easier to just send them a text saying, hey, like if they just text you and say, yeah, I want this, I'll screen cap that. I'll email field service featuring that order number and name. I started leaving out names for a while and I got some order numbers mixed up. It caused a huge confusion. So put the names in there of the order customer. Anyway, and it's just like, hey, this customer asked to add on this item. That means that, hey, you might need a bonus something, or a lot of times just the CTR on it. And they'll just take that amount, send it out to that same shipping address, and split up that balance over the balance remaining. So this is one way. Another way is to just place another order. They don't need to know how it works. They just want it to work, right? So if it's a 5%, if they ordered a petite chef from me today and they're ordering, a Santoku from me next week, it's not like they really got that much off, right? They might get $10 off. So that's something I can just place another order for, no problem. And I've got their card on file. Also, like, hey, sometimes I have to utilize my CSP 1/3, right? Maybe they're on a family program and now they want a peeler. They want it at like, 20, 25% off because like they were stiff arming me and I utilized a bigger discount to close it. There's no way for me to process that. I can't really it's all really hard. Well, I'll have my Cool Hand Luke LLC Square set up and I have even the numbers on the back of their card every time they give me the card number. I just let them go, hey, just so you know, you're going to get this charge, but in order for me to piggyback your exact discount, that charge is going to be processed through Cool Hand Luke LLC. Just letting you know, so you know exactly what that is when you see it on your balance. And then I'll place a 1/3 order in the situation that those other 2 main options don't work. So those are the 3 primary ways that I will utilize to follow through on getting that discount.
Cool. Thank you for the help. I appreciate it.
Awesome, guys. Well, it was great spending some time with y'all. I am hitting send on this email to Matt and to BC to get. Actually, I think I already sent it over. So you guys should have. Oh no, I'll send that over here in a moment. So you guys will have all that verbiage sent out to you for some of those different strategies with the piggyback reminder, some closing statements, value building, pieces to packages, and think bigger mindset. Love you all.